Now that Assassin's Creed Origins and its two major story expansions are out, I can safely say that Bayek of Siwa is an incredible character, and my love for this character has left me with a question, one that I want the answer to be yes to. I want to know if Bayek will get a sequel. Bayek is a great character who fully deserves another game. However, we can't exactly answer this question at this point, nor will we try to in this video. This video will be aimed more at the potential hints within Origins and its DLCs that could possibly make for a promising argument that they intend to do a Bayek sequel. Obviously, this will include spoilers, and just before we get into any of this, I do want to make sure that nothing is 100% concrete, and that I would hate to contribute to any hype train heading in the wrong direction. I know that won't exclude me from the guilt if Bayek doesn't get a sequel, but I just want to damage control and say, take everything with a pinch of salt. So let's avoid getting too excited just yet. Also, we'll be looking exclusively at the hints. We can argue logic that Bayek should get a sequel, but that isn't the point of the video. However, now all that intro faff is out of the way, why don't we just get straight into all these hints? I'm not going to say there are tons and tons and tons, because there aren't that many, truth be told, but they are very eyebrow lifting. I just realised I said let's stop faffing and then continued to faff. Right, okay, fuck it, let's go. Our first hint comes from the Hidden Ones DLC, in which Amunet suggests Bayek go visit her in Rome. And yes, I said Amunet and it sounded a bit silly, I know. Apparently Amunet has been wrong this entire time, so I guess Amunet's what we're going with now. Anyway, this exchange came towards the end of the Hidden Ones DLC, and this is what was said.
Tell me of your life in Rome.
It's a marvelous place, full of intrigue, deceit, and corruption. The perfect city for a hidden one.
I expected you to talk about the wine.
The wine is very good. You should come visit sometime. We'll have a taste.
I might do that.
Obviously the interaction is very playful in nature, but it implies that Bayek might wind up in Rome at some point, which means he might wind up with business outside of Egypt. Among other exchanges of relevance, we're made aware of Octavian's role as the leader of the Order of Ancients. Gaius Octavius is better known as Augustus, who is credited as the founder of the Roman Empire, which was founded in 27 BCE. This makes him the first emperor of the Roman Empire, which means that he's a very powerful individual. And as the leader of the Order of Ancients, that gives him a lot of power, especially over the Hidden Ones, which means that they're going to be causing problems for them. So if Bayek winds up in Rome, even if it is just to taste the wine, he'll probably wind up having some bigger problems on his hands. Moving on to our next Hidden Ones hint, this one comes from after you've recruited the Scarab Tahaka's son, Kawab, to the Hidden Ones Brotherhood. This is done through the Shadows of the Scarab quest. When you've done this, if you return to the new Hidden Ones Bureau in the hills of the Sinai Peninsula and find Kawab, he will have this to say.
This brotherhood is strong, Bayek. Thank you for giving me a chance. Soon I will be heading to Judea. King Herod is causing problems for the people.
Kawab informs Bayek of his intentions to travel to Judea to counter the tyrannical rule of King Herod the Great. This establishment of events in this time period in the universe makes it seem as if they're building this time period up, and that the Hidden Ones isn't fully created yet, which means that the origin story isn't fully told. And it could be that this is a little lore tidbit for us to listen out for in a Bayek sequel. And with the prospect of the Hidden Ones branching out into Asia Minor, could this possibly be connected to the birth of the Proto-Levantine Brotherhood, which later becomes the Brotherhood known in Assassin's Creed 1? Moving on, in the modern day of the main game, you can find this secret message within the cave that houses Bayek's tomb. The message reads, "East of the oasis I call home. There is a cave, accessible only by a nearby fork in the road. It is a small hollow within the cliffside, not easily found. Inside, I discovered a relic of great power. There is something about the cave itself, a feeling, a knowing. The place tugs at my soul. One day, I will return." As suggested by a loading screen hint, this could be to do with a riddle in order to find a rare piece of gear, which can be found within the Hotep Cavern, which is where Bayek is buried, except this can be found when you try to access the cave playing as Bayek. But all that build up for a rare piece of gear? I'm not 100% convinced. Could it be hinting at something more? Do let me know what you think. I think this one's more likely to be about the piece of gear, as annoyingly underwhelming as that is, but let's not entertain this point in particular anymore and shift along to our next hint. If you can recall back to the main game, we were introduced to a character in a quest called the Flea of Cyrene called Esiocles. Clearly a little bit of a hint to Ezio, as Esiocles calls himself Esio, E-S-I-O, as opposed to Ezio, EZIO. But this is not actually the hint is in the Curse of the Pharaohs DLC. In the Curse of the Pharaohs, we run into SEO as an adult. This is the encounter.
Bayek, can it really be you? I can't believe it, the flea of Cyrene here in Yebu?
No. Little Ezio,
Not so little anymore.
what are you doing here? Is Smintos with you?
I haven't seen him since he left Cyrene, but he sent me a small fortune to set myself up.
And what did you set yourself up as?
Well, this is a smuggler's village, so
You are a smuggler?
I am hoping to be. I heard that there is a merchant woman. She transports lotus wine from here to Rome and...
Theocles, if I was your father, I would be ashamed. You waste your talents on criminal schemes.
I
I would send you back to Cyrene, but I fear the mischief you would cause there. I do not want to have to explain to Diocles why.
All right, Flea, all right. You have made your point. A life of crime is no life.
Go to Rome. Find a friend of mine, Amunet. Tell her I sent you and she will keep your idle hands busy.
So upon discovering that Esiocles had taken up a life of crime, Bayek sent him to Rome to assist the Hidden Ones there. This doesn't necessarily hint at a Bayek sequel per se, but it does hint at investment in a character. And for a sequel, setting up reoccurring characters is pretty essential. So this could be a little reference to Esiocles' journey to become a Hidden One himself, or maybe he'll just wind up being Amunet's errand boy. Either way, this could be potential setup for character development if a Bayek sequel were to go to Rome, or considering the rumours regarding Greece, it could be a third game in a Bayek trilogy, who knows. But either way, this little encounter could be some form of character setup, but that's just speculation on my part. To wrap up, we have a couple of encounters that you can access after completing the Curse of the Pharaohs expansion. First of all, when you finish the main story, if you return to Tehemet's tent, she will be gone, but not without leaving a letter behind for Bayek. The letter reads, "Bayek, I knew you'd come back here. But with my debt paid and the strategist likely dead, my time in Thebes is at an end. I have heard tell of a papyrus found in Canaan. I don't know how to pronounce that, I'm so sorry. It speaks of the coming of an everlasting god. Could it be another who walks? Another relic? We will see. I will live my life as I've always done, at the fall of the dice. I hope you find peace in knowledge. Your faithful friend, Tahemet." The letter suggests more intrigue that might be of interest to Bayek. Most notably the possibility that another relic could be getting about. Obviously it's all Tahemet's speculation, but it's interesting nonetheless. Initially, upon reading the letter for the first time, I thought that Tahemet had said that she was going to this place to check out if this was another relic or what was going on. But actually it looks like a suggestion to Bayek, so maybe Bayek would go ahead and check that out at some point in his life. For those wondering about the location, the Sinan is just a little bit northeast of the Sinai Peninsula, which is the setting of the Hidden Ones DLC. So as much as I don't think anything could be headed in that direction as far as a Bayek sequel is concerned, it could definitely be a little bit of world building. Ongoing events set up for us to listen out for updates in a potential future Bayek sequel. By the way, if you could let me know how to pronounce the word Sinan, I'd appreciate it. Could Google it, but nah. The way I'm pronouncing it at the moment, it sounds like a fancy piece of bread. But whatever, why don't we move on to our final hint? And of all the hints, or possible hints, this one is by far the biggest and closest to concrete that we can get. And if it amounts to nothing, it's the biggest fuck you I've seen in a while. For a little bit of entry context, at the end of the Curse of the Pharaohs, the final cutscene in the entire DLC goes as follows.
Put me down. Put me down. I think I could manage on my own.
Can you?
I once thought I had no one left in the world. Now I am a descendant of Ramesses the Great, and I have a family bigger than I could have imagined. Small price to pay. Thank you, Neb. What will you do now with that horror? By Ra's light, I do not want it.
All the more reason you should take it. You better than anyone knows what it can do. Bury it, and all memory of it.
All right. But not here. There are no secrets left in this valley.
There must be one more, Sen.
You restore Ma'at, then leave? If that is what you want, then no one will hear of you from me. Hey, Bayek. We will meet again in the Field of Reeds. I will see to it.
So Bayek trusts the smuggler Sutech with a piece of Eden. From here on out, I've pronounced it right once. I'm going to pronounce it as Sutek because otherwise I will fail to roll and it will sound messy. Anyway, I have made a video on this hint in itself because it is so intriguing. But in order to see the hint, you need to come to this location on the map, which is a Cobra lair. When you arrive at this Cobra lair, you will discover the body of a very familiar face.
No. Is this... Sutech? He deserved more than this fate. And the relic is... gone. I pray to Amun he hid it well.
So pretty soon after being trusted with the relic, Sutech winds up dead. If Sutech managed to hide the piece of Eden that he was trusted with, I'm incredibly doubtful that this would have been put in the DLC. This is the most blatant sequel setup that we actually get, and if it amounts to nothing, this sort of thing is a massive middle finger. What's very interesting is that he's found in a Cobra lair, and if we recall, the snake is symbolic of the Order of Ancients itself. And we know the orders after these relics. So if this is nothing, this is one big coincidence. And because this is a game, it was put there deliberately. So the chances of this just being a coincidence are very minimal. I'd say that if Sutech was killed, it was by the Order of Ancients. And leaving their victim's body in a snake den is definitely something I would consider to coincide with the Order's known sense of humour. This is a joke at Bayek's expense. This is like a jeer. They are literally jeering him. They're like, we have the apple now, this is what's next. And leaving the Order of Ancients with a piece of Eden is kind of one of the last things that any Hidden One would want. So obviously if this is the case and they have the piece of Eden, then the Hidden Ones will need to take action. And who better to deal with a piece of Eden in the wrong hands than Bayek of Siwa? And honestly, that last one is probably the most concrete hint that we have. Still not 100% solid, but if it amounts to nothing, that's incredibly disappointing. Before we wrap up the video, I would like to address a bonus point. The game and its two story expansions end very open-endedly. There's no credits, and importantly, there's no proper closure for Bayek. Bayek's story doesn't seem as if it's over. The last expansion, The Curse of the Pharaohs, is probably the most open-ended of the lot. It literally just ends, leaving you with a good few hints in the world to let you know what could happen from here on out. But that's about it, and you're telling me that that's the final adventure we're going to have with Bayek? Yeah, nah, I don't buy that. The Hidden Ones DLC emphasised the Creed's philosophy and sort of ended with the founding of some of that, but that's not ample closure for Bayek either. The ending of the main game showed closure for Bayek's internal struggle, but left it open-ended in the sense that Bayek still had a story to be told. My point here is that none of them have given proper closure for Bayek's adventure, and ending here would not do the character justice. So in a way, I feel as if the open endings are technically hinting towards a potential sequel in themselves. But like I said, it's not really a hint as much as a bonus point, but take it how you will. But there you have it. Those are the hints that I can think of and find, you know, the ones that are really standing out. There probably are others in there, but I don't think they're really going to help adjust the point any more than I already have. The point is, they're definitely hinting at the potential of a Bayek sequel. Whether or not that potential will be met is another question. Before I wrap up the video though, I would like to explain that, like I said at the beginning, none of this is concrete in any way whatsoever. Take it all with a pinch of salt, and let me know what you think down in the comment section. But anyway guys, thank you all for watching this hints video. I hope you all enjoyed. Be sure to go ahead, leave a like, subscribe, share, let me know of any other hints there are. There are probably a few more that I haven't mentioned in this video that are worthy of note. Be sure to go ahead and follow me on Twitter, I would really appreciate that. And for some reason, I really like to promote my Snapchat account, so yeah, go ahead and add me on that as well. But other than that, I wish you all only the best of days, and I'll see you all very soon with another video at some point.